guys, I have not done a video in forever. I did a video in Spanish at Christmas and I did another video in Spanish in January because we went away. But the last time I did a video in English, like I can't remember. I think it was maybe 2 or 3 months ago, and I've just been awful. Like I've been absolutely awful. I've been doing the bare minimum to keep myself and my children alive. The school pickups, the food shop, cooking, cleaning, etc. But nothing else. Like I've been so depressed. I stopped going to the stables. Like I would take the kids to see our pony every day. Stopped doing that. Just couldn't find it in me to make a YouTube video. I've been really low. All because of my face. Like I've got an infection on my face. And in the past 2 months, it's just gone crazy. If it were just the past 2 months, I probably would be dealing with it a lot better. But this has been going on for almost 15 months now. It's just really wearing me down. I'm like, that's enough now. In December 2020, such a long time ago, I'm lying in bed and all of a sudden I feel this big whoosh of like liquid, and I look in the mirror and I had this big lump under my nose. This lump full of liquid had formed under my nose and I left it. I went to the doctor. The doctor said it's a gland. It's a gland. No, it's not. It's like a big boil. You know, it's like a big abscess. I need it drained. But no, doctor didn't want to help me. So I'm like, okay, fine. So this wasn't a good idea. But yeah, I decided to get a needle and try and drain it myself. I just basically spread the infection like throughout my whole face, because I managed to get like quite a lot of liquid out and I managed to flatten the big lump. But then the whole area was like bright red and you could just tell that I'd spread the infection. And I was still left with like a little lump. This went on for like a year. For a year, I would get a needle, I would try and get some liquid out. I would get some liquid out. I'd then be left with what looked like impetigo, what looked like a cold sore. Then the scab would fall off and I would still have the lump and there was still infection throughout the whole area. I went to so many dermatologists, so many doctors. Nobody knew what it was. Like people would tell me that it was a scar, that this lump was a scar, and I'm like, it's not a scar. It's a lump because underneath there's infection. There's liquid under there. You need to get all the liquid out. I can't get all the liquid out. I try, but more liquid just keeps forming. So they tried me on antibiotics. Antibiotics wouldn't work. They tried me on herpes treatment, like cold sore tablets. And it was just this cycle, you know, of having like a cold sore, after draining it, then the scab would fall off and the lump would still be there. So then I'd wait for like 2 months and then I'd try and drain it again, etc, etc. This was my life for like a year. It got to me. It got to me because I had infection in my face and I wanted it out. It's infuriating. It's absolutely infuriating. And I would touch it and the whole area would go all red, like it is now. It's all red. I would touch my nose and the whole thing would go red. Like that's not normal. That's only normal if you've got infection in your face. On the 1st of December, I'll never forget this day, I decided to go deeper with the needle. Because with the needle I would only ever pierce the surface and get the liquid out. But I thought, maybe it's a sac of like pus and maybe I just need to get the needle and go deeper in and all the pus will just fall out. That was the worst mistake I could have made. By doing that, all I did was make it spread even further, and then below the lump that I had, another lump appeared, like a big one. So now it was like basically double the size. And then another fantastic idea that I had was to get apple cider vinegar and put apple cider vinegar on it, because I read that apple cider vinegar kills infection and kills cold sores and herpes and all that. And it just went huge. The whole area just blew up. Liquid started like pouring out of my face. So yeah, there was infection in there. I would put on fusidic acid. It's like cream for impetigo and stuff. And the white cream would turn into like a honey color because it was absorbing all the infection, because there was just so much infection in there. So for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I just had loads of infection coming out of this wound, and it was so painful. Like, it would burn. I was so paranoid. Like, I just felt so self-conscious. It was awful because it coincided with Alba's birthday, so I had to host a birthday party and talk to all these parents while I had this like big gaping wound on my face and like liquid coming out of it. Like, I'm trying to just act normal, but I'm so self-conscious about what's on my face, and I'm in so much pain because it's so painful. It's like burning. It's like people getting cigarettes and just putting them out on my skin. It was awful. Then finally it seemed to like scab over, like the liquid stuff stopped coming out and it seemed to like dry up a little bit. I got given antibiotics and they just made me come out in a rash like all over my mouth, and then the scab fell off and I was left with just this horrible like bright red thing on my face. And little by little this red thing seemed to be getting like a little bit better, but I mean, I could feel that there was just still so much infection underneath my skin. The skin is like growing over this big cold sore that I've got, or just growing over the infection that I've got, this liquid. Like, I've still got that liquid in there and the skin's like just growing over it. And when it looked better, I would get a needle and take off just the very, very top layer, like just take off the tiniest layer and squeeze, and all this pus would come out. So that's just proof there is infection in there. Like, you know, doctors would tell me, oh, it's all gone now. Like, you don't have anything, you've just got a scar. And I'm like, no, I've got infection under my skin. So I would like do that. I would get a needle and like get out the infection, and then of course it would blow up again and then it will heal again. So here, like, you can see it. There I am, like it's healed up. Well, doctors think it's completely healed up, and I'm like, but that isn't. That's like skin that has grown over an infection. Like, there's infection under there. You can see. But that's not normal. Is that normal? It's not normal. That is not normal. Like, under all up here, I feel like there's infection. And it's like super red, like the area is just super red. But there's no solution. Like, what's the solution? Put me on antibiotics, my body doesn't respond to the antibiotics. Treat it as if it were a scar and get laser treatment. I can't do that because there's infection under there. So if you touch the skin, it goes crazy and all this like pus starts coming out. On Monday I've got a dermatologist appointment. I'm not expecting anything because I think I've been to see every single dermatologist in Madrid. Learn to live with it. I don't know. Learn to live with my new red face. Maybe, you know, when a wound is healing, it goes red like that, and maybe I just have to give it time to let the redness fade. And maybe there is infection in there, but no antibiotic will kill it. My body is the only thing that can kill it. So I have to just let my body try and build up the strength to kill this infection. I don't know, maybe I just have to leave it and give it time and have patience. Either way, like, I can't continue like this. I can't just stop living my life because of it. It's caused me enough heartache and stress and anxiety and depression that I can't let it do that anymore. So yesterday I went to the stables. I'm gonna start going to the stables again. I've started meeting up with friends, just trying to get back to normal. Not look in the mirror as much. And I want to get back to making videos. Yeah, it's been an awful, awful experience. But I think if I've learned anything, I've learned don't touch your face. Like, don't get needles and put them in your face. Don't put apple cider vinegar on your face. I've learned to just leave it. Like, even though I hate this, I am not going to touch it. Even though I know there's infection, like, I know there's infection under there, I'm not going to, like, get a needle and try and get the infection out. Like, I'm not touching it now. So if I've learned anything, it's leave my face alone, and I will from now on. I am not going to touch my face. And I've probably learned to just not be so obsessed and paranoid with my physical appearance, because I am. This is for another video, but I had an eating disorder for many years. Started when I was 13 and went right up until I was like 28, until I fell pregnant with Amaya, and my kids like saved me. But that's for another video. But I've always been really obsessed with like my physical appearance, very critical of myself regarding my physical appearance. That has to stop. I am what I am. Doesn't really matter what I look like. People don't love me because of what I look like. The only person that was expecting perfection regarding my looks was myself. I would look in the mirror and everything would have to be perfect. And you know, I'd see this big crap on my face and that just wasn't good enough. I need to learn to just love myself unconditionally, regardless of whether I'm fat or ugly or whatever, or I've got things on my face or not. I have to learn to love myself unconditionally, like my children love me. You know, you can always learn things from every experience. So even though this is a horrible experience, I'm trying to take away like those 2 lessons from it. Trying to love myself unconditionally and stop taking needles to my face. But from now on, I want to get back making videos despite this crap on my face. And I just want to get back to like normal life now. Oh, and another thing, we had COVID. Like we all got COVID and it was horrible for like 4 days. Had a really high temperature, didn't feel well at all. But I mean, I was petrified of getting COVID and it was okay. Like I'm not scared anymore. We don't have to wear masks now outside in Spain. So now I'm like not wearing a mask anywhere. Obviously indoors you have to, but outside I'm not wearing a mask and yeah. Feeling really good on the COVID front. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope your faces are nice and infection free. And if they are, take a moment to be grateful for that because you're very lucky. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.